Where's Fielder? He's gone to the dogs.
Welcome, friends, to the Gone to the Dogs podcast. Dog talk at its very best. That's a slogan that was coined by my good friend Jerry Barker of Kentucky in response to the episode we did with Peanut Scott. And I thought, man, that's a great slogan, and we'll just adopt that going forward. Thank you, Jerry. Well, folks, it is December 18th. That is 1 week before Christmas 2023. Ella and I would like to certainly wish you and your families the very best of Christmas, best of times, best of food, best of Hallmark movies, and all that goes with the Christmas time. It's my favorite time of the year. Ella has our home looking absolutely beautiful with all the lights and ornaments and all the things that just make me feel warm and cozy, fuzzy, as they would say, at Christmas time. I hope it's that way at your house. And if we don't get to mention that again next week when the December 25th episode drops, that will be Christmas Day. So Merry Christmas, everyone, from Ella and everyone at W Hunting Supply, our sponsors, those that provide a way for us to bring this podcast to you each week. Recently, I listened with great interest to a podcast that talked about the origins of the Plott Hound. Many of my listeners know that Plotts have been very near and dear to my heart for virtually all my life. My dad brought a registered Plott home in 1954, and since that day, there's always been a Plott associated with either my dad or me or my brother. So Plotts and the Fielder family are very closely intertwined. I enjoyed the interviews that Clay Newcomb did with Bob Plott and John Jackson, two friends of mine and guys that certainly have dedicated themselves to studying the history of the Plott dog. As I listened, it called to memory a incident back in the 1980s. In fact, in 1985, with the help of a friend named Stuart Biesecker of North Carolina, I believe Stuart was from Lexington, we located a gentleman named James Oliver Laws. James' dad was affectionately known as Uncle Jimmy Laws, and he served as the guide at the Hazel Creek Bear Camp, where Von Plott, Little George Plott, Branch Rickey of baseball fame, and several other famous hunters hunted back in the 20s and 30s. And what I arranged was an interview whereby Stuart would sit on the porch with Mr. Laws, and you'll hear the rocking chairs creaking on the boards, and you'll occasionally hear traffic going by down on the highway. There was a series of 4 tapes made, and what we're going to do in this episode today is play the first of those 4 for you. Now, the interview today will be about 45 to 50 minutes long, and I hope that you will understand that this was before the days of sophisticated recording equipment, and these interviews were recorded on a simple cassette recorder, transferred over onto CDs, and then ultimately through the digitizing that we've done to bring it to you today. But anyway, the story that James Oliver Laws brings is somewhat different than the history of the Plott dog that you've become familiar with. And this was discussed on the Bear Grease podcast whereby the guests there took two different views, one the Plott family story and the other the saga, as John Jackson told it, which in a way, disputed, maybe that's a strong word, but disagreed to a degree with the story that the Plott dogs came over from Germany in 1750 and were bred by the family, for all those years. Keep in mind that the gentleman doing the talking today is 75 years old at the time. Now, this was back in 1985, which was nearly 40 years ago. James Oliver Laws, the son of Uncle Jimmy Laws, lived, worked, and hunted with the Plott men and several of the other famous bear hunters of the Smoky Mountain region during that day. People like Gomer Martin, people like Mark Cathy, you'll hear those mentioned. You'll hear the Cable family of Cades Cove mentioned. And so he lived, worked, and hunted with all of these people. And he was a personal friend of little George Plott, who sold his entire pack of Plott dogs to Hack Smithdeal. Smithdeal is a familiar name in Plott history. When little George was called to go overseas during the invasion of Normandy, his boat was sunk and his life was lost. But Jim Laws would be an excellent source in that day and today for information or of information on the Plott dog, its origins, and so forth. And you'll find as he talks that there's a lot of talk of crossbreeding. There's a lot of talk of dogs that were of various colors and how that dogs of black and tan or black and speckled coloration were bred and produced brindle dogs. The reason I became interested in this story by Mr. Laws was that it did seemingly for me put together many pieces of the puzzle of where the Plott dog did in fact originate. So, without further ado, we're going to the front porch of James Oliver Laws in 1985 to talk about his experiences hunting in the Great Smoky Mountains. The interviewer is Stuart Biesecker of Lexington, North Carolina.
With James Laws, and we're going to talk about some of the men that he hunted with and some of the dogs that he got to hunt with. And this interview is for Steve Fielder at the United Kennel Club, field manager. So he'll have some information on doing an article on James Laws and some of the people he knew. James, your father was Jim Laws, the famous
James Laws.
What was his whole name?
James Nelson Laws.
James Nelson Laws. What do you remember most of all about starting hunting and
Well,
your daddy was a bear hunter when you was a boy. When you was a boy.
I killed bear when I was 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah. You was raised at Bryson City. Yeah.
And he hunted that down in them Smoky Mountains on Nolan Creek and Forney Creek and Hazel Creek through there.
Okay, now Hazel Creek, that's where you done a lot of hunting with Branch Rickey and Bob Haynes and the Plotts, John Plott, Little George Plott, and Vaughn. Now those boys kept some pretty good dogs, didn't they?
Oh, they had so good as could be found.
Yeah. Well, y'all hunted a lot each day together, didn't you? Yeah.
I don't know how many years now we hunted together. Yeah, we hunted together for years.
Yeah.
They had some real good dogs. Well, I had some too, just as good as they were.
Yeah, and your daddy's old troop dog was
that dog. I always thought that was the best dog that ever lived.
Yeah, and you got to see a bunch of them go to the woods too.
Yes, I did.
What I was going to say, that picture there of Gola Ferguson. Now you said he lived about a mile from y'all, and how did you say he got his start of those dogs?
Well, he got a Jeep from. We had a Plott Jeep and that old troop dog, and bred it to him, and they could come out 3 puppies. There's a black one and a red one, and then this red one.
Buckskin.
No, it wasn't buckskin. It was just a red Jeep. But now, boys, it's just a good one that you ever see.
Yeah.
The black dog goes easy, but he didn't do nothing.
The brown one made one of the better dogs?
The black one, he took fits and just got the way he didn't do nothing.
Yeah. But Gola, now he was...
Gola got them. Then he bred this Jeep to Homer Martin's dog. Homer Martin was a brown hunter, too. There, Bryson. And they got a bunch of them. Gola, he had the one named Cal, and one Boston. I forget what the other one's name was. He had 3 dogs. But I always called Cal his stud dog. And them Plotts, he come over there and bred to go with his dog. And
Vaughn and them did?
Yeah. And bred to go with Martins.
Yeah. Talk about Vaughn. You told me once before that you thought he was the best houndsman out of the Plott boys. Is that right?
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't doubt what Vaughn was the best.
Little George, was he the best feller out of them?
Yeah, he's the best. He's the best Plotter I knew. I tell you the truth. He was really a fine fellow. I tell you the truth. He was really a fine fellow. He was an Army. He been there 21 years when I hunted.
Yeah.
And little George, so he went into National Guards when he was about 18, and he stayed there. He got around in World War II.
Yeah.
The boat got shot from under him and he drowned.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd read for him. Drowned. Let's see now. Up at Hazel Creek. Now, your daddy, he was employed as the hunting guide at Hazel Creek, wasn't he? Yeah. And then later on, you were employed. Now, what years did y'all start going up there hunting? What year was that?
When I first started there, it was 1934. But my daddy had been hunting that longer than I had.
Yeah.
1934, I started hunting up there. And in 1935, October the 20th, we killed 6 bears.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. That was that one day, right?
Yeah, one day. Killed 2 the
next day.
Over at Ricky, he killed 1 that day. And Red Ginlow, my daddy and me and Von Plott. I won't say right now who it was killed.
How about Bob Haynes? Wasn't he on that hunt?
Bob Haynes killed him.
Yeah. I remember the picture.
Bob Haynes, he the one killed him.
Yeah. And you killed the biggest one that day.
I killed one.
Now, how did you say you killed that one?
The bear, he backed up under a big tree and turned up, and another one fell back across it. He just backed up in the forest of that tree there. And the dog come down through there. He wasn't barking. And he jumped on that big log. And he barked again. And he was barking every breath. And I walked out to it. And when I got there, I had to walk right up. Just the log between me and him to see it. And I shot it. Yeah.
How about that one that you told me you shot? You sneaked in behind it when the dogs had it bayed kind of on that rock cliff, and you got up above him, and it just had that one small hole in it. The Plotts was on that hunt too, wasn't it?
Yeah, Plotts was on about, I reckon, about all the hunts. They got in, had good dogs, and they was in on all of it. Then I got some good dogs, and I made the few drives there. And one time, when we went over there, we went clear around the big cove over there. And we come in, and Cole Cannon, he said, do you think you can make it back over through there? I said, I believe we're missing the wire by not going in there. I said, I've been all around it. I said, I can go. I started, and it was a bar sticking out through there, and I just turned the dogs loose. They said, we got up on top of the mountain. I said, we better get off in there and get the dogs. I said, my dog will go. I said, he'll go to the tree. It's close to a mile down there. That old dog, we'd sit down there, and might have been sitting there 5 minutes.
Now, which dog was that you're talking about?
My buckskin dog.
Now, he was off of...
He's from Old Rock. He's from a big rental plot I had. And Rock was from Homer Martin's dog. We studied him, and there's about a half black and tan. Jip was mothering him. But no, he was really a bear fighting dog. And I read another Jip I had to him and got that buckskin dog.
And he made a real dog.
Yeah, man. When we was up on that mountain, them boys said, boy, that's a pretty dog. I said, what? So what's he good for? I said, he's a good bear dog or coon dog, that's all, I reckon. And about that time we heard that old dog open up, what's no pardon here, that face, wrong. They opened up, went right around the mold there. Went right around, close to us, closer than here to me. And went barking. They said, they went to life, and they said, that bear and coon dogs trees squirrel. I said, well, I'm going out there and see it. They said, yeah, we better go sit there. There'll be a dog fight out there. Oh, I walked up there. This is a real steep hill. And when I walked up the top of that, I looked just there, them poles up. And looked up in that big oak tree there's a big bear. I said, that's a big black squirrel. I want to kill him. And I shot it. It fell out. And when that old dog, he run down, he grabbed that bear right with the ear, and he just hanging to it. And the bear, though, he's still alive. Another boy, shot right down my shoulders there. Boy, I was done wrong with him. I told him, he busted your level, busted his eardrums. I said, shooting that close to him. And we got the bear. I started. He said, I'm the chips and always turned to him that dog. Boy said, that's a pretty dog, and he went to bag. I told him, I said, well, I said, might turn my squirrel dog to your bear dogs. And I said, I bet you would race some. I was glad.
But your daddy, you think the troop dog that your daddy had was the best dog that you'd ever seen him have or ever seen?
I think forever, for a coon and a bear, I believe that's the best dog that I've ever seen. I've owned some awful, but I never did own one that come up to me.
He was cold-nosed hound too.
Yeah, I guarantee you take him at this time of day. You'll
find a bear, coon. Yeah. What about the time you tell me when I believe you was telling me about Gold Ferguson had referred your daddy back in the 20s to Senator Smathers and them, and they wanted him to come up one weekend and hunt, and him and old Troop went up there and
they Gold Ferguson. I don't know how come it, but he bought 2 dogs for Senator Smathers.
Mr. Ferguson did.
Yeah. And Senator went over there to get him. And they was talking. And he told, they was asking Goldie, who was good hunters around here? He told us that good hunters around here. He told us that good hunters around here. He told us that old man Law, he just said he hunts and said he knows what he's doing. Well, by the way, they come in over there and my daddy take down there. Well, I went. I don't know. They killed a bear, 2 bears, I won't say which. That first time. And what? My daddy killed one of them. Oh boy, they got all of them in. That struck on my daddy. They come in and said, they had 50,000 acres left.
Now that's where they flooded with Fontana Dam in the 40s.
Yeah.
But at that time it was private land. They owned the land. Yeah. They bought it off of a timber company.
They bought it off Ritter Lumber Company. 50,000 acres.
So they could do all the bear running they wanted to.
Yeah, man. I guess something up.
Well, how did the Plotts ever come in on hunting on that hunt?
Well, see, Plott's over there at Waynesville, and old man Will, and them, they lived in Asheville. And they found out about the Plotts, and they went talked to them, that wanted them to go over there and make a hunt on it. And they went over there. Had good luck, so, they them Plott boys in.
They had some good dogs, too.
Yes, they did. Yeah. They had some real good dogs. Of course, they had some that other people had. They was real. I see little George take one up there. Pretty doggone big. It's the prettiest he could be. And they went out and killed that bird. That dog come over there, walk right down through there, right by that bird. Never paid a bit of attention to it. And on the hunt, they turn him loose. He'd run off, the dog would run off. He'd run off that child anyway. Somebody. And wasn't afraid of a bear, I did. And we hunted there 3 days, killed a bear over there. And little George, she said, I don't remember what the dog's name was, but he said, he's not going back home. He took it off over there, he had no more in his eyes. He took the car off and shot his brains out.
Called him right out, didn't he?
Yeah. He said, Said, I don't give dogs away. Said, they don't count. Said, I don't give them away. He said, and I kill them.
Well, most of their Plotts, were they brindle Plotts or black Plotts or red-nosed dog, hot nose?
The majority of them had black back and brindle head and brindle legs.
Yeah.
And some of them was solid brindle.
Yeah.
And then some that come out buckskin. Little George Plott had a buckskin dog over there. I don't guess where I killed him. For he was in the hunt and he never did come in.
Yeah.
We never did find him.
The dogs like that, when they tree, how long would they usually stay?
Oh, some of them. Now, them that we had, I know them stay 3 days. Mm-hmm. But them Plott dogs, they usually come in with that evening. You didn't find them, they'd usually come in with that evening.
They had some good handling dogs then, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see. You was telling me one time about the bear had got past the standards, and you and Vaughn had been running, and you was a lot younger than Vaughn. Yeah. And how did that go now?
We took the dogs and turned them loose in what's called a Georgia Calvin cold. And we went up about halfway, half a mile up that cold, and we found a track, turned them loose, and we went on to the top of the mountain. When we got to the top, turned over into Walker's Creek. We could hear dogs running everywhere, hear them shooting everywhere. And directly we heard that old dog of Vaughn's and my old dog. They went on through and was climbing the other mountain. I said, them's got through. He said, but we'll swear that's mine, won't we? I said, yeah, you can swear it's mine. And I said, them too. I know it's not like nothing else. And by the way, we went on over. I said, I'm going to them. He said, wait. I took him for a ride on nothing, no. But he had hunted in more than I had. And he knew to go around and go in above. It was just Laurel, dog hobble, green briars, and everything.
You couldn't get through in time.
He went up there and went, He got to the dog first. He shot. I looked up. I was, just a little way from Western Air Force from the mail over there. And I see that old iron roll and all that tree. North. I was sick. And I went on around there. That dog come down through there then. And jumped upon that log. Went fighting that bar. I killed it. It was just hid there trying to hide.
Another bear other than the one that Vaughn had just killed? So y'all got two?
I killed, yeah. And
so each of you got a bear then, didn't you?
Yeah. I know that day when we killed him. They said, I remember mighty well the date. The bear season up in the 20th. And my oldest boy was born the 17th of October.
And that's my birthday too, 17.
And I killed the bear. My wife, I never brought her home. And I killed that bear. And they was all talking Bob Haynes. And he got him a big boy and killed a big bear. And he's a big man.
That was a good day to remember then, wasn't it?
I remember that mighty well.
What about that time you was telling me that y'all run a bear and you got up on the parkland and you and little George Plott went after it?
Yeah, they did.
How did that come about?
We went over there and we turned loose. It was in between John Calhoun's place and old man Calhoun's. They called it the Little Orchard. And we went up there and found where Bear had been eating apples that time. And it come, let's give us an old. And we went up over there and we turned the dogs loose. And they went out over the hill and it went to raining, just a pouring rain. And we got up there and couldn't hear nothing. Couldn't hear a dog, no sound. So we pulled off and went way down in Smoker Street. And there's some big hemlock trees there, and we got under them. They'd keep you dry. There was about 7 or 8 there around them trees. They said, I guess about 2 o'clock. Well, boy, we'll go in. And we got up and started. And I said, wait a minute. I said, where's my daddy at? And George Plott said, I don't know. Said, I thought he went off up the creek. And I just stopped. And about that time, he was in the pool. He come down there. So he hollered at us, hey, boy. And we waited on him. He said, them dogs got a big bear tree up on it. He said, yo, we pulled out, went up there. The park warden and the state warden went with us. The state warden went with us, but the park warden was up there when we got up there. And he said, now, if you peel other dog's back, said he'll come right down on that old Scott dog. Said he'll come right down on him. Said if you get them others back. So we took off up the hill, calling the dogs. Well, they took right back with us. We got up, full got 50 yards of bear come down. Yeah. Well, of course, all them dogs, they roared back on it. They put him up another street. Went down there. My brother-in-law, he was a good climber. And I told him, I said, you climb that tree there up beside it. I said, I'll give you this pole and you put you out. Mm-hmm. He took that pole and he cut up there. And we rocked it a while. The bear out, he punched it and he just grabbed that pole and gave it a jerk like that with his head. And he said, he turned the pole loose. He said, I can't do that. I said, you can do that. I said, you can turn the pole loose. I said, I'll punch you, reach back to you. Well, he did. The next time I reached him up over the face, was hanging on the foreleg. And boy, down from there, he come on. We were running about here to the mill. It was right straight down a steep hill. And dogs caught him again. And they had a real fight of him there before he ever did climb anymore. We threw rocks and done everything. Well, I said he hauled him back, went up a tree. I went out to the creek and got me some good big round rocks. Went back up there. When I got back, my brother-in-law had 2 of my dogs tied, had an old rock neck. And I said, what are you doing? He said, I tied him. He said, I tied him. He said, yeah, that's part of it. I said, he tied him. He said, first, get on that horse here and get going. And he told me, he said, get on. I said, oh, I can't think that bear's kill. He just laying over there with his head over on the limb and slid down the porch. Yeah. I said, well, I said, if it ain't, I said, I'm going to try my best to hurt it. I stepped up on a big log there. And I said, I was no upward from that ground, that porch roof. I hit that bear right beside the head of the rock. When I did, it rolled out like a tree too. And then the fight started.
How many dogs did you have there?
We had about, I think it's 17.
17 dogs.
And the dogs got the bear down. The landslide hit its back. And my brother-in-law ran up and was trying to knock it in the head. But it was cold there about 8 inches through this, and I just picked it up and threw it over on. I got on one end of it, George Plott Hound. My brother-in-law, he's just beating the dogs. I thought I'd give you a shout. He turned down there, I think he's got notions of knocking me in the head. I said, what? I said, stick that in its mouth. I said, you're a beating dog. And he just walked around and got on that's right. And he done that Taylor Wilson cut his throat.
Taylor did.
Yeah.
So y'all got the bear. What did the warden do? The park warden?
Warden, he just stood there. And it was getting dark then. We told him, well, we're going to give you that bear. Well, I don't know what he said. Well, next morning we got up real bright and early. Went real light up there and we got the bear and carried it for 2.5 miles, I guess, to the place it to, the truck, like that. When we got back over the gym light, superintendent over there over that park, and there's a bunch of them. And there's going to take us in. No, we're not going. We're going to make a bear drive. I said, Bob Lanes and them, I said, they expecting us to make a bear drive. And the hell I leave. He was doing this. He said, I wouldn't think about it. I said, I'm going to make a drive for you. And he said something else. I said, no, wait a minute. I said, them fellas come from a long ways off. I said, Winston-Salem, not St. Louis, Missouri, and everywhere. I said, get me a big old, that's what I'm going to make. I said, I'll go with you this week. I said, we will go with you.
What was he going to do, lock you up for killing the bear?
Yeah. Well, he thought we'd just go up there and them guys pay $500 or $600 a piece for us. Yeah. And we, that evening, it was pretty dark when we got in that evening. We went to Bryson City, 32 miles. And got up there, and something said about we come up, we was going to make a bond. No, you can't do that, he said. And we had Strummer's name, and he's over the ice over there, and that's what he did. And he said, yeah, but you can. So I happen to know better than that.
In that segment of the interview with James Oliver Laws, you heard the story of the incident involving James and several of the well-known hunters of that day, Gomer Martin, Taylor Wilson, Mark Cathy, Wentz Cable, Bill Wiggins, and little George Plott that had to go before the magistrate for killing a bear in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. And the interesting thing about that story, and I realized that it was difficult to hear, again, remembering that Mr. Laws is well up in years and the means that we were using to record him, he mentioned that they were each fined $5. And it was humorous because the judge said that he didn't feel that they were trying to kill that bear. They were just trying to protect their dogs. man, if we could get more courts to believe and follow that philosophy today. But in this next segment, and it will be the closing segment, we hear Mr. Laws refer to a man that is very prominent in Plott history, Gola Ferguson. Gola, or Goldie, as Stuart B. Secker refers to him in the interview, was very popular for the dogs that he had that appeared on many of the early pedigrees. And it's an interesting story about Gola as the bear hunter. I hope you enjoy.
Reggie in the whole county. Reg was a distributor of Dove gasoline, and Cole was distributor of Shell. And they said they'd been trouble. He didn't know right then. Well, he just didn't know where they could make it. Well, Red said, we'll just call the old man school. My daddy said he's worth over 100,000. Said, let him come in there. And I said, I know there's Justice Peace fixing all that up. He said, are you Mr. Scoop's son? He said, yes. Well, I said, you're all right. We'll take you. So they put us under $500 bond. That's right. We went up there. They didn't call us up. So we told that old solicitor, Taylor, said, we wanted to drive. He said, my understanding was supposed to come up. We said, no. Said that might have been what them fellas told you. He said, but if we have to pay for it, said we won't pay for it and get it off.
Yeah, get it over with.
Oh, food tending for it. We go ahead, they called us. Just look like everything do. And they put Jim Light, Parks and Brundle on the stand, and Ike Wells. But old Ranch Ricky and Bob Haynes and Senator Smathers and all of them, they went to talk to the judge about it.
Were they at court that day with you?
Donald, they talked to the judge, so the judge used that there. And Ike Welch was on the stand. And the old judge just got up and walked back over to his seat. He said, I think I see into every bit of it. He said, them boys didn't want no bear. Said they wasn't curious about that bear. Said they killed that bear for the sake of the dogs. And he said, I think I see into all of it. Said, can you boys pay me $5 fee? We said, yeah. And every one of us just jerked up and paid them. Walked out of the courthouse. When we went back out of the courthouse, hey, how you been? Red Gentleman come back up. Well, old money that big.
I paid you out.
And paid us. Yeah. Paid us everything left the courthouse. They said, when you gonna go get? I said, we'll go with you. We'll pay $5. I said, you're off like that though. $5.
No.
You just going in there.
That's serious business, killing the bear on parking lot. What? Who did they indict? You and Little George Plott?
They indicted me and Little George Plott and Taylor Wilson, Lynch Cable, and Bill Williams.
Had a slew of you, didn't they?
Yeah. Me and two of my brother-in-laws.
What did your daddy have to say about all that?
He didn't say nothing. He said, but I can't says nothing for you. You boys are doing that. But said, and I guess it might have been a fire. They didn't say.
Well, back to talking about the dogs again. You think the dogs back then had an edge on dogs today? They just tougher dog or better dog?
Yeah, I think it was. I actually do think it was.
Man fed a dog then. He had to have a good dog just to keep him around, didn't he?
Yes, sir. And none of them hunters, when they'd go out, if they had a dog that didn't do the work, they didn't keep it. So they didn't want a dog, but unless you do.
Right. Just like little George called out that dog. Vaughn Plott, which dog of his do you think was the best that Vaughn ever had that you hunted with?
Old Scott.
The Scott dog that Vaughn.
Scott was the best dog that he had.
Was he a brindle
He's
Plott?
black and brindle legs.
Pretty good mouth on him.
Oh, he had a good mouth.
Good nose too.
Yeah. He was a real dog, old Scott was. We went one night, and that old overland struck up. Never was nothing but a trail. That old dog was his, and he got to open the old Scott. And a little bit, my old dog went to tree. I said, no, I said, he's three. I said, he never did a lick. I said, just trailed off him.
Vaughn's dog wasn't treed also.
Vaughn's dog did too. He was barking.
Uh-huh.
I said, that gets me. I never seen Scott do that before. I said, I never saw Buck do that either. I said, he's doing. Well, we went down a tree right at the edge of a branch under a big rock. And we went down. There's just a little place back in there. Okay. And Molly got down inside his light back in there. I said, God, I don't know. I said, it's a skunk.
Said, boy, it's a skunk.
It's a skunk. I don't know mine was first to the struck him. I don't know what they would I'll still do that, but
well, I guess you'll see him do everything, won't you?
yeah.
But it's say old Scott was pretty good bear dog.
Oh man, old Scott was you could bet on him, buddy.
Well, did they breed him a lot? Was he bred a lot?
No,
he was.
He was kin to about every one of their dogs.
Right.
And they come down for his son down there in Golden Martin. And they come about 3 days after old Rock died. They come in, little Georgie Taylor Wilson come down there and wanted to get him to take breed. So
was that your dog Rock?
Yeah.
And what was little George going to breed his Jip to Rock?
Yeah.
They wasn't no kin then. Yeah. Now Rock, what did you tell me he was off of your dog, your Plott dog?
He was from Golden Martin's dog, and just it was a black and tan and speckle looking Jip. But he come out. There was 3 of them pups, and that one of them marked up pretty brittle as I've ever seen.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did Goldie Ferguson say he had a pretty good Plott dog?
Oh boy, Goldie Ferguson had some good Plott dogs.
He did.
Yeah.
Did he bear hunt with y'all up at Hazel Creek much?
Yeah.
He did.
He'd go, but he never did kill nothing.
He
was
did.
afraid to kill. He was afraid of a bear.
Was he?
Yeah. One day. We turned the dogs loose, they went right straight to the daddy. And all at once they just turned went down the creek. They went down there and just drove over Goldie Ferguson. He shot way up in the tree, 10 foot high. Way down there, he said, I shot it right there. And old Mark Cathy, he was the reason about Mark Cathy was. And Mark, he was looking at, and he looked up on that beech tree about 10 foot high. Yeah, now, hell, Goldie. Said, don't tell me the bear grew that high.
He seen where his bullet could hit up in the tree, didn't he? So Goldie never did kill many bears, did he?
He never did kill one, never. Never known him to kill.
Now you told me your daddy, Jim, he kept a walking cane or a stick that he made a notch. What would you tell me every time he killed a bear?
They at home, we had a porch there, and he'd go out there and beat a notch on. And every time he killed a bear, he notched on that joist. Boy, you had to full of them too.
How many years did he bear hunt? Would you just guess? I mean, say, or how many bears did he kill?
Till I was about pretty close, about 40, I guess. When Dad quit hunting and went, he took me with him when I'd be in school. Maybe it was on Saturday. He'd take me with him. I was over 12-year-old.
You started early then, didn't you? How old was you when you killed your first bear, would you say?
I was 20. I was about 23 years old.
23 years old.
And I killed him first. Then, I never get to see one to win. And then just about every time we went, I'd get one. First time, I kill one just about every time I go.
Yeah. What was the best dog that you ever had, would you say?
Well, I couldn't turn my hand over for old Rock and that buckskin dog.
What now? The buckskin, what was he down off of?
He's off old Rock.
Oh, that's right. And Rock was off of Goldie's dogs.
Yeah, Rock was off of Homer Martin's dog.
Oh, yeah.
And Goldie and Homer Martin and them, they bred through when this dog.
Let's see now, who else was that you told me kept real good Plott dogs up in the mountains?
Well, there was several people on Plott. There was a bunch of Wardicks up there and Parkers. They was back up Sunburst up there. That was back up this side of Still. They had some real good dogs. Old man Parker, he had a big brindle Plott. They called him Hardwood.
Hardwood.
Yeah. Boy, that old Hardwood was a dog. And he had about all the Parker's dogs was crossed with blackened hands.
Yeah.
He bleeds in them blackened hands.
Yeah. Well, now, didn't you tell me that your daddy's old troop dog was half black and tan and half Plott?
That old look, he was so like that. But we had two before. When Daddy had two, when old troop was about a year old, I guess. They was black and tans. And now they'd go on in black and tans, but they started the troops good.
Now, what year was this, would you say, that you had them and Troop was about a year old?
It was about 19. I'd say about 1922 or 3.
22 or 23?
I was about 12, 13.
Yeah. And,
but them was two. They was full-blooded black and tans. Them was full-blooded. And my uncle, they watched the dad see that. And my daddy and two of the uncles I know that had them. Yeah. Well, when they went out, they got fried.
Yeah.
They got so they over there around rocks. So somebody killed them. They were over on no land. And which one of the losses was killed?
So y'all had a reputation of getting the bears in, didn't you?
That's how Golden Ferguson told that. He told old Senator Smith
about your daddy.
He told him, said I'm telling you what's true. Said that old man said he knows. Said seemed like the day before this 12 hours is going to go right now.
He kept up on him, didn't he?
Yeah. So my daddy did, but he didn't let nothing get in the swing of it.
Mm-hmm.
And in the spring, he fished a whole lot too.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask you about that because after bear season was over with, y'all go back to Hazel Creek, or you stayed up there. You lived up there. And after bear season, you would fish. Everybody would come back and fish.
After bear season, well, we did in the winter. We'd hunt up till Christmas.
Yeah.
And then the next spring, we'd fish.
Trout fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had some of the best trout in the fishing that there was in the Smoky Mountains.
That was on Hazel Creek.
That was Hazel Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was Walker's Creek, and Proctor's Creek, and Bowman Valley, Sugar Fork, all of them, and Cold Spring. They called it Cold Spring Branch, but it's a creek, and it run into Hazel Creek.
Yeah.
They owned about, 20 miles about it.
Friends, that concludes our interview with James Oliver Laws for this episode. We'll be bringing the remaining tapes to you in future weeks. A very interesting gentleman who has passed away. Keeping in mind these interviews were done in 1985 when Mr. Laws was 75 years old. It was interesting to me to hear his references to crossbreeding within the Plott dogs, his mention of the famous hunters of the era, and I particularly enjoyed the episode about the fellows going to court and the judges' take on what they had done in killing a bear in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, something that no one would advise, but shows you how things operated back in that day. And particularly, the Gola Ferguson story I thought was very humorous. That's going to do it for this week's podcast. Miss Ella and I once again would like to wish you a very Merry Christmas. Hope you get to spend it with family and friends. Be safe in whatever you do, and we'll see you next time when we'll all be gone to the dogs.